Aibileen Clark is being interviewed and is asked if she knew that she would be a maid when she was growing up, to which she replied yes, because her mother was a maid and her grandmother was a house slave. The interviewer then asks her if she ever dreamt of becoming something else. She nods and smiles. Then she is shown teaching a really nice affirmation to May that goes like, "You is kind, you is smart, you is important." She works for the Leafolds from 8 to 6, 6 days a week, for 95 cents an hour. That is $182 every month, where she also does all the cooking, cleaning, washing, ironing, and grocery shopping. As she's dressing May, the Leafold's daughter, Miss Leafold asks her if she's finished with all the cooking since bridge club is in an hour. She notices that Miss Leafold doesn't even pick her baby up once a day. She feels the birthing blues have hit Miss Leafold, as she's seen it happen plenty of times, where babies have babies. And the young white ladies of Jackson were all just having babies, but not Miss Skeeter, who's going to the town in her car. In the town, there are separate entrances for colored people in some places. She goes to the newspaper office for the Jackson Journal to meet the editor-in-chief, Mr. Blackie, for a job. He tells her to write a cleaning column, as the original writer is not able to write it, and he tells her it's due on Thursday. She's happy she got a job. Miss Hilly is shown marking toilet paper in her bathroom, and tells her mom that they were late for bridge club, and asks Miss Minnie, her maid, to get her mother, Miss Walters, down. Minnie asks Miss Walters if she needs help, but she's already down. Aibileen remarked that Miss Hilly was first of the babies to have a baby, and then everyone else at bridge club wanted to have one. Minnie grabs the pie and follows them. Miss Walters moved into Hilly's house once she was sick, and Hilly fired the maid she had to make room for Minnie too. Minnie is the best cook in Mississippi, and Hilly wanted her. Aibileen narrates that she lost her boy Traylor 4 years ago. She didn't want to live anymore, but God and Minnie helped her through it. She always says that she's lucky to have Minnie, who is her best friend. Miss Leafold asks Aibileen why the table isn't set, and takes May from her. Then Hilly joins the gathering. Minnie tells Aibileen that Hilly is marking the toilet paper Minnie uses, and they joke about how she doesn't know that Minnie carries her own toilet paper from her home. Aibileen jokes about the amount of hairspray Miss Leafold uses, that if she lights a cigarette, she'll blow the house down. Skeeter enters. The ladies are happy to see Skeeter as she's returned to Old Miss after a while. She tells them she missed them. Then Hilly tells her that Stuart is not coming to meet her, and Skeeter's disappointed, as he left her hanging again. Skeeter tells her friends about her job at the Jackson Journal, and asks her friends if she can speak to Aibileen to help her write the cleaning column. She agrees. Celia Foote calls the Leafolds' residence to inquire if she knows any maid looking for a job. Aibileen answers saying they are busy, but she'll deliver her message. On delivering the message, Hilly makes fun of Celia, and they laugh, except Skeeter. Hilly then talks about her initiative about having separate bathrooms for the colored people helps outside. Skeeter jokes about it, saying maybe she needs a separate bathroom outside. Then, after the party, Skeeter goes to ask Aibileen for help for her column. She agrees. Skeeter then apologizes for what Hilly was saying. Skeeter then is reminded of her maid Constantine, and Aibileen said she knows her. Skeeter questions her about her whereabouts, but Miss Leafold enters and asks Skeeter to publish Hilly's initiative. Skeeter goes home to her mother trying wigs, as she suffered from cancer. Her mother then makes her try a dress and tells her to go on dates. Skeeter tells her mother about her new job, but she's not happy since she doesn't have a man yet. Later at dinner, Skeeter and her mother get into an argument as Skeeter realized her mother fired her maid Constantine, who raised her. Skeeter then calls a publisher she interviewed previously for and tells her she plans to write about the point of view of the help, the colored women who raise white children, who both love each other but can't use the same toilets in their houses. The publisher tells her it'll be difficult to make the maids tell her about their lives, but she lies and says that she already has a maid that will do it, and the publisher agrees to see what she'll come up with. Skeeter is ecstatic. Later, Skeeter is talking to Aibileen for her cleaning column, and after she's done, she asks her if she can help her write about what it's like to be a maid. Aibileen is not fine with the idea and tries to ignore Skeeter, who follows her into the house, and Miss Leafold then tells her that Aibileen won't be able to continue to help her. Minnie was fanning Miss Walters when their lights were out during a storm. She wants to use the toilet but is not comfortable to go outside because of the weather. Miss Walters tells her to use their toilet, but Hilly tells her that she can go outside. It's just a little rain. Then Minnie says she's going to get her tea, but goes to her toilet. Hilly, being suspicious, follows her and knocks at the toilet door to ask if she's there. Minnie answers, and in clear range, Hilly fires Minnie for using her toilet. Minnie leaves, furious. Next day, we see Minnie exiting the bus holding a pie, and Skeeter rushes to Aibileen for her answer about her request and gives her her number. Minnie calls Aibileen to tell her that she went to Hilly's house with a pie to teach her a lesson, but didn't tell her what she did, but told her that she won't get a job anywhere. And then Minnie's husband gets home and begins to harm her. Aibileen calls Skeeter home. They have a long chat, and as Skeeter's leaving, she asks her what changed her mind. Aibileen said God and Miss Hilly. Hilly's new maid, Yule, tried asking them for a small loan of $75 for her 2 sons' college fees, but Hilly told her she's doing her a favor by telling her to get her own money on her own means. Minnie was briefing her daughter to be a maid, who she said quit school to meet the bills, and Minnie left for Celia Foot's house, who Aibileen was sure Hilly wouldn't reach out to not to hire Minnie. As Celia is showing Minnie the house, she's nice to her and offers her cola. She tells Minnie that she's pregnant, and she hires Minnie. Hilly tells Skeeter that Stuart is coming to meet her. She's not very happy about it, but Hilly convinces her to go meet him. Yule finds a ring while cleaning Hilly's house. Aibileen is talking to Skeeter about how poor baby May's diaper doesn't get changed the whole night until she does it next morning, and how Miss Leafolt is pregnant now, but is not fit to be a mother. Then Minnie rushes in. Annoyed at what's happening at first, storms out, then changes her mind about it and says she'll speak to Skeeter about her plight too. Skeeter's mom does her hair for her double date with Hilly, but it gets ruined as she reaches the place. Then Hilly pulls her to do her hair, and they get to the date. At the date, Stuart teases her, and Skeeter gets annoyed and leaves. Minnie teaches Celia to make fried chicken, and they both eat together, even after Minnie urges her to eat on the dining table. Skeeter gets a call from the publisher, who reads her work and tells her that she needs to interview at least 12 more to get published. Aibileen, Minnie, and Skeeter then think about how they're going to convince other maids to join. Aibileen says they have to, and starts telling the story of how her son got killed, and convinces Skeeter that she needs to continue to tell their stories. Skeeter goes to Hilly's party, where she tries and asks Yule to join the others, but as she's talking to her, Hilly enters and demands that she put her article in the paper. Stuart then comes to apologize to Skeeter, and they go on a date and kiss. Mrs. Leafolt rushes to help Hilly, who was furious because Skeeter played a prank on Hilly by printing drop old commodes at Hilly's house instead of old clothes, and her lawn was filled with old commodes. Mrs. Leafolt sees May using one of the commodes on the lawn and spanks her, and Aibileen calms her down. Aibileen is traveling home by bus, and suddenly they get stopped as a colored man got shot nearby. So they are asked to vacate, so Aibileen runs home and even falls down. Later, Minnie tends to her wounds. Minnie hears a huge thud while cleaning and goes to check on Celia. She's locked in the bathroom and tells her to go home. But Minnie breaks open the door to find a pool of blood. She tells Minnie she lost her baby. She got married because she got pregnant before, and later lost it after a month. She says Johnny wants kids, but Minnie tells her she just has to get over it. Celia tells Minnie he doesn't know about any of their 3 kids she lost. Yule got off the bus and was arrested as Aibileen looked on. Hilly was also watching from a distance. Skeeter heads over to Aibileen's house and finds many maids there, ready to tell their stories. Skeeter speaks to her publisher, who tells her she needs to send in the stories in 3 weeks. There's a party at the Leafolts, and Celia crashes it and takes a pie from them. But Hilly tells everyone to hide. Celia feels embarrassed as they giggle and hide from her. Minnie tells Celia that Hilly thinks Celia stole her boyfriend Johnny, as they were dating before. But Celia says she'll tell her the truth on the benefit night. And Celia tends to Minnie's wound and tells her that she'd not take a beating, but give it back to him and tell him to go to hell. Aibileen, Minnie, and Skeeter discuss that what if people figure out who's who from their stories? Then Minnie says they need insurance. Then she goes on to say that one day she went to Hilly's house with a pie. She was so impressed with the pie that she told her she can resume work, but with a pay cut. Mrs. Walters enters and wants a piece of the pie too, but Minnie tells her that the pie is only for Hilly. But Hilly demands to cut her mother a piece, but Millie tells her, "Eat my shit," and you just did. And Miss Walters starts giggling, and Hilly starts gagging. Minnie also says that Hilly put her mother in the nursing home just for laughing. Minnie tells them this is the best insurance, as Hilly won't let anyone know it was her. Skeeter tells her it's too dangerous. Minnie tells them to put this in the book or remove all her parts. Then, at the benefit, Hilly wins the highest bid on Minnie's chocolate pie, but says she didn't bid on anything. Then Celia comes to congratulate her and tell her that Johnny didn't cheat on her. But Hilly starts being rude, and Johnny tries to defend Celia, but she walks away, but ends up puking on the floor. Later, Mrs. Walters tells Hilly that she bid on the cake for her. Skeeter asks her mother about her maid Constantine. Her mother tells her that she was just appointed leader of an administrative group, and all the members were at their house. And suddenly, Rachel Constantine's daughter shows up, knocking at the door. Skeeter's mom tells her to come to back and wait in the kitchen, but Rachel enters instead of going from the back, and the president of the group asks her how she can put up with this behavior, so she asks them both to leave. The next day, Skeeter's mom goes to meet her, but she left for Chicago, and they ask Skeeter's brother to go bring her back from Chicago, but she had sadly passed away. Her mother apologizes, but Skeeter walks in. Skeeter's book got published, and she got $600 for it, but she distributed that amount with all the maids, who go around $46 each. They were jumping with joy. Later, Miss Walters was reading the book with her friends at the nursing home, and she got to her daughter's pie story. Then, later, she called Hilly to tell her to read the book. Stuart breaks up with Skeeter, calling her selfishness for stirring up trouble. Everyone starts to read the book, and Hilly denies it's from Jackson. Hilly then storms over to Skeeter's house and threatens her that she's lawyered up, but Skeeter tells her she can't prove anything. Then Skeeter's mom defends her and tells Hilly to get out of her property. Then her mom tells her to take her New York job, and that she's so proud of her. Celia surprises Minnie with a huge feast that they enjoyed together. This gives Minnie the strength to leave her husband and take her children with her. Hilly goes to the Leafolds to take on Aibileen for blaming her for stealing, and tells her that she can't prove she wrote that, but she can surely get her arrested for stealing. Then Aibileen tells her she will write the truth from jail, and says that all Hilly knows is to scare people, and she can write good books, indicating she's written the book, and asked her, isn't she tired of all that? Hilly was stunned, and Aibileen leaves. Aibileen walks out as Baby May screams to stop her. Minnie and Aibileen rush to church, and they are greeted with huge applause as the congregation thanks them for their bravery and gifts them a book signed by everyone. Thank you guys for watching, and if you like this video, make sure to watch the next one. And do let us know in the comments below what kind of movies you'd like to see more of. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.